Did you listen to my voice memo this morning?
I did. While I was driving over here.
What about the ending where I kept coughing?
Yeah, and then that was it. No, guys, she sends a voice message. I'm not even gonna say anything. Can you skip to the end?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the end.
She's telling me about her whatever, and so then she starts coughing, and then it just cuts off. And she doesn't say bye. She doesn't text back saying sorry or anything. It's just so weird.
I thought I finished my statement and you didn't respond. Oh God, it's so annoying.
But I feel like that could be so funny and for socials and stuff. So, sorry, just want to throw that out there before I forget. Oh my God.
The end of the, oh my God. Well, because I couldn't stop coughing, so I was like, I gotta
so
finish.
Funny. I was just like, this girl.
Today's episode is sponsored by Indeed. Think about someone who has changed your life for the better. Ash, I know your answer's me.
Duh. Obviously.
How incredible would it be if your company could find more of those life-changing people right when you needed them? If you're hiring, you need Indeed.
Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Don't spend hours on multiple job sites looking for candidates with the right skills when you can do it all with Indeed. Something that I love about Indeed is that it makes hiring all in one place so easy because with Indeed, matching as soon as you sponsor a post, you get a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description, and boom, it's hiring at warp speed. So join over 3 million businesses worldwide using Indeed to hire great talent fast.
Indeed knows when you're growing your own business, you have to make every dollar count. That's why with Indeed, you only pay for quality applications that match your must-have job requirements. Visit Indeed.com/advice to start hiring now. Just go to Indeed.com/advice. Indeed.com/advice. Terms and conditions apply. Cost per application pricing not available for everyone. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
We've all had burning questions: love, relationships, career, family life. Or what if you've been hearing more about tarot cards or astrology lately and want to see what that means for you? Well, here's your chance. Keen Spiritual Advisors have been helping people find answers and clarity in their lives for nearly 25 years. If you need balance, reassurance, Keen's vetted, best-in-class psychic advisors are available 24/7, and they've helped over 14 million people just like you. Every conversation is confidential, and you can connect by phone or online chat within minutes. They even have a satisfaction guaranteed. So give it a try. Head to keen.com/unsolicited and get your first 10 minutes connecting with a psychic advisor for just $1.99.
Well, didn't it welcome you to this morning?
It did welcome me to this morning. It was also, what's funny is when you were like, hi, good morning, it played through my car, and I was at the time listening to a podcast, and I was listening to Emma Chamberlain's podcast this morning.
Oh, uh-huh.
And you know how she talks kind of quiet and monotone?
Yeah.
So I had it blasting.
Did I
And then
blow
I
you?
played your voice message, and it
Oh gosh.
freaking blew me away.
I'm
blew the top off my car.
so
I was
sorry.
like, ah!
Who needs caffeine? Just get
Immediately
yourself
lowered the volume.
a
and
loud
was,
friend.
Good morning. Good morning. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. This is Unsolicited Advice. That's Taryne.
Yep. That's Ashley. Sorry.
I always try to switch it up in between I'm Ashley.
Yeah.
And then
It's
letting
always-
you say your name. I always try to throw her off.
You do throw me off. That's why there'll be a gap, and then I'm like, oh shoot, wait, what am I doing?
I'm always
today?
is she going to pay attention? Is she going
to
do the right
pay
one?
attention? That's the question on everyone's mind. Anyone who interacts with me. But oh my gosh. So last episode,
Yes.
we talked about I shared a theory of mine about dating apps and how it's affecting men, right?
You did.
So I posted a reel about it.
Uh-huh.
I pissed the male species off.
Oh, probably.
Apparently.
Yeah. Well, you
But
did
it's-
single out just the males.
Well, but it's so funny because it just shows, I think people in general have lost the ability to listen to a whole thing and then respond, which we all do, right? Like someone's talking to you, they say something that pisses you off, and you like stop there. Like you don't listen to everything.
You like zone in on what they said.
Yeah, because it's funny because I went and I was like looking through comments. First of all, men never comment on my stuff ever. And so there was like all these comments from men that were so rude and like just like volatile for no reason.
Well, like what?
Well, and my theory, I'll go on to that. But so I'm like looking, and so I listen back because I'm never one like, if I accidentally post something that offends someone, like I will say sorry, I'll take it down, like whatever, right?
Yeah.
So so I'm listening to it back, and it's funny because I say in the beginning, I think it's affected everyone, but I think men a little more. And then what I'm saying is, the reason I think men are sometimes like that is because of this new thing. So it's not like I'm saying men at their core, like blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying like I think dating apps have affected men.
Yeah.
And then at the end, I even like specifically am talking to this one person, and we're saying not everyone's like that, but you got to keep going until you find a great guy, right? So it's funny because all of the men that commented something like mean, when I went to their profile, they were terrifying. And the ones that responded were like, well, you're only talking about attractive men that blah, blah, blah. Like for us, we can't even get anyone to respond, like whatever. Which it's so funny because like I think I remember like so many people have told me with social media, like hate is good. Like, you know, you're doing good if you like start getting hate comments. But for me, I'm like, no, this is like my thing. And like when you're putting pointless stuff, like you're not trying to have a conversation. You're just saying, like this one guy was like, oh, obviously you just can't compete. Like you're a lesbian or something. I was like, what is, first of all, what does that mean? And if you're meaning that as an insult, like that's not an insult. Like I just was like, what? So, and I went to his page and he actually terrified me. So I literally was like, okay, delete, block, delete, block.
I was literally going to say, like, the only people that would take anything like that personally are probably the people who do that, or probably the people who
don't get anyone.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I don't think you need to worry about those types of people commenting
it
on
was
your
just
stuff.
so funny because it was so, the tone was so violent.
Yeah.
And I was just
some
like,
pent up anger.
Yeah, it was just so funny to me because I was like, I'm not even saying anything that crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
It wasn't that wild.
No. And like one guy was like, this is like the most inaccurate representation of what it's like for a male or whatever. So I like responded because I'm like, okay, like let's talk about it.
There's a conversation.
Yeah.
Would love to have a conversation.
But if you're going to like attack me and like say like all this like nasty stuff about women, like I don't have time for that, you know?
And like women do that too with the dating apps, like struggle with the same thing.
Fully.
We were just at the moment talking about men.
Women are the worst. Like, oh, you're only 6 foot. Sorry, I want 6'2". Oh, you're this. No, I want this.
Yeah, we all have our things.
Yeah, we do. But it was just so funny because I don't think I've ever really posted something in my entire life that made people mad. Yeah. So it was like a really weird experience for me.
Yeah.
I was just like, what do I do with this? Like, I want to laugh, but should I be mad?
Yeah.
But also I'm scared. What if they kill me?
Yeah.
That's exactly like
but
where
also,
my mind went.
Let's not scare the bear.
Yeah.
What's it?
Poke the bear.
Poke the bear. Same thing.
Poke the bear. Same thing. Yeah, so anyways, that's my update.
Oh, fascinating.
I offended men. So sorry, male race. My bad. My B-dog.
B-dog. Oh, man. Have you been watching Shrinking?
Yes.
Oh, my God. One of the neighbors, I'm blanking on the character's name, the female therapist.
Oh.
What is her name?
Neighbor.
Yeah. But what's the female therapist's name?
Crap, I don't remember.
I can't. My brain's blanking right now. But I was dying. I was watching the latest episode last night, and the neighbor and her like gave each other nicknames, and she called him like D something because I think his name's like Daniel or David.
Yeah,
and he called her G-Spot.
I did see that part, yeah.
It was so funny. And he kept saying it like throughout the episode, like only like 2 or 3 times. But each time it got funnier and funnier.
I'm dead. Oh, Gabby.
Gabby.
And then
he'd be like, sure thing, G-spot.
Yeah.
I was dead.
Oh, are you talking about the husband? Derek.
Yes, Derek. Yes.
Derek and Gabby.
I want to say, and I'm going to say this now, I think Derek is so funny. I think he's so underrated.
You have to pay attention.
Yes. I think he's just like Winston and New Girl. And I'm hoping that the longer the show goes on, the more we see of Derek. And I wouldn't mind if he had his own episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the stuff
my
he would say
favorite
is so awkward.
Yeah.
That it takes a second for you to realize how funny it is.
But also, like, I feel like I love him and I relate to him in how he's just totally willing to go with whatever vibe there is. So at first when there's like a neighbor who's just like totally being like a racist Karen in this one episode. Yeah. And so he drives up and he's like, hey, I don't remember what her name is. Like, say it was Karen. Like, hey, Karen.
I think it was Karen.
Well, I think they just call her Karen.
Okay.
But I don't know what her actual name is. So he's like, oh, good morning, Karen. He waves. And then the wife is like, no, we hate her. And then he's like, okay, like, F off, Karen. And then, like, drives away.
He's so funny. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say.
No,
that's a great show. If you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. And then you'll know the character we're talking about.
Yeah, no, that show is freaking gold.
I spent most of the weekend with my boyfriend, and we had a very interesting conversation.
Ooh, bring it on.
Yes, we were talking about boob jobs. Because I feel like there's a lot of girls on socials right now, at least on TikTok, that are like showing their experience of getting a boob job like recently, like within the last like 2 months.
Really? I have not gotten
a lot
on that side.
Okay. Well, I think there's at least 4 people that I follow that have just now gotten a boob job and are talking about like the process and documenting it.
So crazy because I feel like when we were younger and like I had a lot of friends that got it when we were younger, but it was like before social media really.
Yeah.
And so like
they
would just like tell you a little bit about their experience. But like now it's like you can literally like you feel like you're in the surgery room with that.
100%.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They've been like obviously very open about it. And I've had a ton of friends that have gotten boob jobs and a couple of friends recently that got them. And I was just like talking about them with Jackson and he was like, I wonder, like, we were just talking about like why girls do that / want to do that. And where I kind of ended up, or where we both kind of agreed, was that like women's bodies are so sexualized and so much of us is perceived through just like our physical appearance.
Yep, absolutely.
And our femininity very much depends on curves. And if you don't have those curves, I think it's a huge insecurity of like, I'm not woman enough, or I'm not feminine enough, or I'm not going to be a good mom. Like I don't have like, you know, like all the stereotypical extreme female characteristics. And we were like, what would that be for guys? Like, what's that thing? Like if guys could pay to have something done, what would it be? We landed on height. But also hair. Hair was like our part 2. And because apparently
you can't.
So here's what I learned.
I know you can like stretch or like do random stuff like that.
Here is what I've learned.
Oh God.
You can add height to your legs. It is an extremely invasive surgery where they break your leg.
Oh.
And insert, like, it's not much height, but it's like an inch or two, like a plate. And
for
it goes,
inch or two?
Yeah, it goes in your calf.
Oh, absolutely not.
And it's extremely invasive and ridiculous, but it could take someone from 5'11" to 6. And if it's a huge insecurity, guys could technically do that. Because at first we were like, ooh, hair, because we assumed you couldn't grow like that.
Yeah, because I said hair because hair is the one like I know you physically can do.
Yes.
I didn't know that people actually
neither. And that's what I learned this weekend, which is so fascinating. So like obviously, like Taryne said earlier, we were talking about like girls suck because we'll be like, no, I want a guy over 6 foot.
Yeah.
Because that is totally like guys' masculinity is totally tied to their height.
A lot, yeah.
So socially.
Yeah. I would say.
It is. Like our females are tied to like our bodies and men's tied to height. And it's so fascinating now that you can have that surgery done. Isn't that
That's
weird?
nuts. Is that like you can just go in and do it, or it's like only certain doctors will do
I'm
it?
sure
kind of
it's
thing?
only. Listen. I didn't research
Listen.
this fully. Don't
Fact or
quote
fiction
me.
with
Don't
Ash.
quote me. I know the surgery is a thing. I don't know how often it happens or what circumstances have to happen for you to have the surgery, but it is a thing. And it's just a, fun fact that I learned this week.
Wow, dude. You know what? God, again, I hate myself right now. The season I just finished of Love Island.
Wait,
Shut up.
I saw your story. So how many seasons have you watched in this last month?
I watched season 5, season 8, season 3. I think that's it.
So 3 seasons in a month.
Yeah.
How many episodes per season?
They range around 50,
How many minutes per episode?
about an hour.
So where are we at?
So like 150-ish from March 1st to March 27th.
It's not even a full month.
Nope. Ashley, I know.
No, this is the intervention. You said you needed help on your story.
No, you know what?
This is what I'm doing.
Yesterday, I sat with myself and I was like, because I finished the season. Thank God I finished by midnight. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, Taryne, here's the thing. I can't trust you because every time you're like, I'm just going to watch one episode and you don't.
Yep.
So I decided I'm going to try really hard not to start another season for a while.
Treat yourself to the next season because of something you did or
Yes.
time.
And I can't on the weekdays.
Yeah.
And if I have a day where I'm like home all day and I want to binge,
Sure.
perfect.
Yeah.
If not, I can't watch it. I'm not allowed. Today's episode is sponsored by Indeed. Think about someone who has changed your life for the better. Ash, I know your answer's me. Duh.
Obviously.
How incredible would it be if your company could find more of those life-changing people right when you needed them? If you're hiring, you need Indeed.
Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Don't spend hours on multiple job sites looking for candidates with the right skills when you can do it all with Indeed. Find top talent fast with Indeed's suite of powerful hiring tools like matching, assessments, and virtual interviews. And hate waiting? Indeed's U.S. data shows over 80% of Indeed employers find quality candidates whose resume on Indeed matches their job description the moment that they sponsor a job. Something that I love about Indeed is that it makes hiring all in one place so easy because candidates that you invite to apply through Instant Match are 3 times more likely to apply to your job than candidates who only see it in search, according to U.S. Indeed data. So join over 3 million businesses worldwide using Indeed to hire great talent fast.
Indeed knows when you're growing your own business, you have to make every dollar count. That's why with Indeed, you only pay for quality applications that match your must-have job requirements. Visit Indeed.com/advice to start hiring now. Just go to Indeed.com/advice. Indeed.com/advice. Terms and conditions apply. Cost per application pricing not available for everyone. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
We're recording a little earlier than we normally do today, and Taryne walks in and goes, "Are you okay?"
Oh.
And I was like, "Yeah."
Wait, I didn't even say what I was talking about with Love Island.
Oh.
But don't forget, I won't forget that. We're going to talk about that.
Okay.
I've got it. You've got it. Okay.
Okay.
But what I was saying, because it was in regards to height. So in season 3, there's this guy, Kem.
Uh-huh.
Honest to God, one of my favorite people I've ever seen, like on a reality show.
Yeah.
And he's like he's the shorter, right?
Uh-huh.
But I think there's like something about him. It was so attractive the way he would like make jokes about him being short, or like he'd be like, yeah, this like one scene they all got like custom suits, and he like tries on his thing and it's like down to his knees and like the arms are long. And he's like, yeah, it's so weird because like I told him like a suit for someone who's 5'10", and like I am 5'10", but he's not. He's like 5'6". So it's like so funny because the way he'd do it, or like he'd stand up to like the tall guys that were like literally like towering over him, and he'd just be like, what? Like, it just, there was something so attractive about the way like he knows there's a stereotype and people make fun of it, and he knows, he wishes he was taller, but he like jokes about it, but not like self-deprecating, just like having fun with himself. But anyways, so I was like, I feel like shorter guys are like, it's all about just like with anything, it's all about just confidence and not feeling like you have to be apologetic about it.
Yeah.
Because if you keep whining about like, oh, I'm shorter than you, like that's annoying. Like,
that is, yes. 100%.
As a woman, like embrace it. You know what I mean?
1,000%.
Like Joe Jonas and his wife.
Yeah.
I love that she still wears her giant heels and on the red carpet, like there's never a moment where he looks awkward or uncomfortable, or you can see her trying to like lower down.
90% of the time, it looks like he's just like gawking at her. Which I love.
He's like slouching. He doesn't care. Like that is hot. Like it's the confidence.
Yes.
The confidence. Don't come at me, men. Trying to help. Okay? Okay, anyways. Ashley walks in. I asked her, are you okay?
Yeah. She asked me if I'm okay. And I was like, yeah. And we were talking about like some stuff coming up. And then she goes, so like, how are you doing? And I was like, I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
And she's like, good. And I was like, am I being rude? She goes, no. And I go, okay, well then why are you asking what's going on? And she's like, well, you seem very disconnected. And I was like, well, I am really tired. She goes, cool. Like that's gotta be what it is. And it was just so funny to me because I'm so tired. So my Shih Tzu, my dog Chloe, had to have surgery. I'm watching her this weekend because Alicia was in Vegas all weekend, and she had a horrible stitch job.
Oh, it was
they like had
the worst I've
to
ever
remove
seen.
something from like a lump from her side. So they stitch her up, and my sister's taking care of her that day. I pick her up, and it's the worst stitching job I've ever seen. And I'm like, that doesn't
Let
look
me describe
secure.
it. Let me describe it, because I don't. All of you are like, oh, worst stitching job. No. Okay, imagine if you took like. It probably was like I don't know if this is the right diameter.
Yeah.
Of maybe like a dime or a penny.
I was going to say dime, yeah.
So imagine there's like a circle's worth of like skin scooped out, right? So it's like a significant amount
of wound.
They took each side across from each other, pulled it together, and put like one stitch in the middle.
Yeah.
So like if you take a circle and you smash it like that, it literally looks like an infinity sign.
Yeah. Her skin was folded.
The two sides were just literally her skin just like open.
Yeah.
And it was just pulled together and like bulging out of this like one stitch holding it together in the middle. It was the worst thing I've ever seen.
The second you see it, I was like, did they give us something to clean this? And she goes, no. My sister says no.
No, it looked
and I was like, so
terrible.
Is she going to have an infection? Because her skin is showing.
Open.
Like, the inside of her skin is showing. So I'm trying to be like extra delicate with her. I show Taryne. She's having like a hard day. And then 2 days go by, and I'm like, I put her in bed with me, and I go hop in the shower. She's fine. Her stitch is there. I hop in the shower. I come out, and there's like blood on her fur. And I'm like, shh. And then I look. Her stitch had popped open, and it was bleeding. And I was just like, come on. So I take her to this 24-hour vet.
This was like late, too, at night.
Yeah, it was like, it was probably like 11:30, I think. So I end up taking her to this 24-hour vet. They restitch her up, and they're like, yeah, we're a little concerned about infection. And I was like, well, yeah,
naturally
because her skin was showing.
The inside of your body is not meant to be open and exposed
It was
to
this
the world.
whole thing. So they had to like flush out her wound, re-sedate her, and restitch her. And this time they gave her 3 stitches. And the stitches are so much better than they were before. And I told the doctor, I was like, I'm going to be honest, like I think they did a horrible job at the last stitching. And he was like, okay, well, sometimes the dogs, move just right. And I was like, no.
Did you show him the picture?
I didn't show him, but I was like, trust me, it was bad. So anyways, all that to say, I think we're finding a new vet.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
It was so bad. I have before and after pictures, and they're crazy.
Because you would expect like the emergency vet almost to do a sloppier job because they're just like
rushing,
triage, like treating animals like quick, whatever. But like for her regular doctors to do that,
regular scheduled vet.
No,
surgery.
it made, because anytime I look at like a wound, that freaks me out. My butt tingles.
Taryne,
we've talked about this. I have weird
know.
physical responses to
but
things.
It's always with your butt.
No, that is just for wounds or like gross things. It makes, or if someone's talking about like a bad injury, it feels like my butt like falls asleep. It just starts like tingling.
Oh my God.
And it made my butt tingle for sure. It was gross. Oh my God.
Anyways,
let's
go ahead and
you know what?
Let's go ahead and get into the episode, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Tearing it up. You guys already know this is the funny segment where you guys send in funny stories. This one is titled, I swear I locked the bathroom door.
Oh, God.
Hey, Taryne and Ash. Okay, I'm finally doing it. My name is Hannah, and I've been listening to the pod for a little over a year now. Every time you read a Tearing It Up, I can't help but think of this story. It's my most embarrassing moment, but I find it absolutely hilarious. So here we go. ...
Wow. Props for sending it in.
Yeah. For context, I'm from Rancho Cucamonga over in the IE. Hey. And I went to college in Riverside. My girl. We're the same person.
Our side.
One day during my sophomore year, I decided to study at a coffee shop before heading to Orange County for a hair appointment. Ashley, if you've been to Augie's in downtown Riverside, that's the one. I know the exact. I used to work there too. Study there too.
I was like, what? I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. Augie's is good. She writes, I got there a few hours before I had to leave, so I was planning on being there for a while. About an hour or so before I had to leave, I had to use the restroom. It was a gender-neutral restroom, so it was just a single-person bathroom. It's important to note that the door of the restroom looked directly at the register, and the toilet was on the far wall facing the door.
Wait.
So if you were to open the door, the toilet is facing the door, which is facing the register.
Got it. Which is, I feel like most bathrooms like that, usually like the toilet's a little off. Like it's not like
it's in the
directly
corner
facing.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I've never thought about. I wonder if they do that on purpose.
Yeah. Huh. And she again reiterates, all you need to know is that from the toilet, you had a direct view of the register if the door was open. Anyways, I walked into the restroom and locked the door. She adds in parentheses, or so I thought.
Oh, God.
I was just chilling on the toilet doing my business, and all of a sudden, the door opens. But the person who opened the door was looking behind them and talking to someone. So there I was sitting on the toilet with the door wide open for everyone to see.
Oh, because they didn't even like see
they didn't
someone
notice
was in there. They're just like
they didn't
chilling,
notice. They're
taking
chatting
their sweet time.
And remember, from where I am on the toilet, I have a full shot of the register.
Uh-oh.
So as the door is open and the person who's opening it is completely oblivious, and before I'm able to get any words out, I make eye contact with the barista at the register who is in complete shock. That's my worst nightmare.
I think I would have just smiled and waved.
I mean, you have to. There's literally, I would have been like, hello, hi, can you, hi, hello, something like that.
I mean, luckily unless you're just sitting like spread eagle, like
right.
Usually it's pretty easy to be like, all anyone could see is like the same stuff you would see if you're wearing
really
like a short
quickly
skirt.
Put your knees
down.
together and
Unless you're in a bodysuit.
If that oh my God.
Just
that is
full blown naked.
Going to the bathroom in a bodysuit is the most vulnerable thing.
Oh, it's terrible.
The most vulnerable thing.
It's terrible.
Sorry, I'm going to segue because it's too good of a story. One of my really good friends was in Africa with me a month ago. And we're on safari, right?
Mm-hmm.
She has to go to the bathroom so bad. Like, not number one, number two. Because it's going through all of us, right? She is in a full onesie. Like one of those, like, jumper workout fits, you know? And has to go to the bathroom in, like, the bush.
Yeah. I mean, it's so
she's fully, like, boobs out, like literally nothing, and she's leaning against this tree, and we have photos of it, and it's the funniest thing. to have ever happened. And I feel like there's no difference in vulnerability whether you're in the bush going to the bathroom or in a stall going to the bathroom. You're just fully exposed.
Well, can we talk about, I swear, every time I'm in a public bathroom and there's like people walking around, I make eye contact through the crack with someone.
Yeah.
Like, why do people look in?
Another question. Why do the states have cracks in the bathroom?
Big enough that you can,
because if you travel to other countries, a lot of them don't. Like, it's fully sealed. So why?
Like, have maybe a gap at the bottom so you could look under and see if there's feet.
Yeah.
But there's so many times where I'm sitting there and I'm
why
just
do we
like,
have to have a gap?
Cool, hi, like, can I help you?
Yeah. I understand if you're sitting and going to the bathroom and you're facing the door of the stall, I understand you looking out the crack.
Yeah.
That's completely different. If you're walking past a stall and you're peeking through the crack, mind your business. Mind your business.
But I'm like, women, what are you doing?
Yeah, and if you're trying to see if someone's there, there's a rule. You look for the feet. You like kind of bend over and look for the
I don't
feet.
really look. I'm a pusher. I just push
tap.
the stall a little bit.
Yeah, but don't make eye contact through the crack. That's rude.
That's rude.
If you learned anything today.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Anyways, the barista is currently in complete shock since she's looking at her on the toilet.
Oh, at least it was a girl. Silver lining.
Actually, she did not
specify.
Oh,
okay, never mind.
So she just said barista.
Let's hope it's a girl.
Yeah. Eventually, I'm able to say something and the person sees me, apologizes, and closes the door. As soon as they close the door, I just burst out into laughter. From there, I had two choices. I could leave immediately in embarrassment, or I could act like nothing happened because I didn't want to go back to my dorm before my hair appointment. I just ended up walking out with my head tall and read my book until it was time to go.
Good.
I hope y'all enjoyed the story and had a good laugh. Love ya, Hannah. Incredible.
So
that is seriously is one of my sister's worst fears is being walked in while going to the bathroom.
Really?
Walked in on while going to the bathroom. 90% of the time while we were growing up, even when we were significantly older, she'd make me go like stand by. If it was one of those like family bathrooms or gender neutral bathrooms, she would make me, or not even necessarily like gender specific, but if it was a public restroom that opened up to the public instead of like having to go down a hall or having to go, if it was one of those doors that was like just the toilet, not stalls. I had to stand in front of it for her, which is so funny.
I mean, obviously it's awkward anytime it happens. Where I freak out a little bit is if I'm like at church, Ash, backstage, there's like the single bathrooms.
Hate it. I always go into the foyer.
I check that it's locked like 50 times because I'm like, my nightmare is like the pastor walking in on me or something.
Yeah.
Like that's awkward.
Yeah.
And the toilet's like to the side, so you would see like my whole leg, like my whole cheek, leg, side profile. But anyways, yeah.
I had a whole conversation with one of our friends at church about that, about how I hardly ever use those restrooms. I'll just go I'll wait and I'll go in the front.
She's like, I just go in my pants before I'll go.
It freaks me out.
Yeah.
It freaks me out.
Well, you've walked in on people before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A few times.
Good times, guys. And what have we learned? You just laugh it off.
Yeah.
Something embarrassing happens, laugh it off.
Keep your head high.
And also, like, if you make jokes about it yourself, it just like takes the pressure. Like, I would have walked out and walked up to the barista and been like, wow, we just got real close, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then you like laugh, move on.
Or you could have been like, well, that was embarrassing. I don't really know how to recover. Can I get a free coffee? To ease my pain.
I'm done. You would not say that.
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
I would have
You
left.
would leave.
I would have left.
Yeah, I was going to say
couldn't. I don't think I could have sat there.
You would leave for sure.
So very proud of you, Hannah.
Amazing. Well, let's get into, I'm having one of those
Deja vu?
Twilight Zone recording sessions where I'm like, what have we done? How long have we been here? Like for a second, I was like, did I already read a story?
Are we on Earth?
Who knows?
We've all had burning questions: love, relationships, career, family life. Or what if you've been hearing more about tarot cards or astrology lately and want to see what that means for you? Well, here's your chance. Keen Spiritual Advisors have been helping people find answers and clarity in their lives for nearly 25 years. If you need balance, reassurance, Keen's vetted, best-in-class psychic advisors are available 24/7, and they've helped over 14 million people just like you. Every conversation is confidential, and you can connect by phone or online chat within minutes. They even have a satisfaction guaranteed. So give it a try. Head to keen.com/unsolicited and get your first 10 minutes connecting with a psychic advisor for just $1.99.
My story is titled, Why Can't I Get Over My Ex?
So many things.
Can I get an amen from everyone? Okay. Hi, ladies. I would like to stay anonymous, but you can call me Faye. I got to start off by saying I love the pod. My mom actually complimented me the other day on how I handled a conversation with my dad. He is an Enneagram 8 and not a healthy one, LOL. And it is all thanks to you two.
You're welcome.
I love that. Yeah.
Just changing lives over
Changing
here.
lives.
No big deal.
Changing lives. Okay. You have helped me understand how to calmly talk with other people and express my emotions while also being respectful of the other person and understanding their side.
Wow.
I think if I was asked to give like a TED Talk, one of the things I would feel confident in talking about is communication styles. I think I'm really good at that. Like I have a really good understanding of how to like pick up on how different people communicate and how to shift how I approach to those. Okay, obviously I can't give a TED Talk because I can't speak English, but anyways, I love communication, and I think a lot of people don't really focus on getting to know A, their communication style, and B, how to pick up and learn about different types of communication.
Specifically the people in your close circle.
Yes.
Like, why wouldn't you study your partner's communication style?
Absolutely.
It's only going to make life easier.
I think about the way I have always like approached things with like friends before I met you. Like, we would have not gotten as close as we are now if I would have like not changed anything.
Right.
Because I've always been very like blunt. I've always been very like, you say what you think in the moment. And really quickly I learned that that's not your style. And I shifted to be like, okay, if I do have something I want to talk about, like I need to do it in a different way that makes her not clam up, but like feel comfortable.
Yes.
And that's just like basic 101. But like if I wouldn't have done that, where would we be? We would not be friends. You guys would not be listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
Legit.
Yeah.
So it's just so valuable. Anyways, wow, tangent. Okay. All right, let's get into the story. A little bit of background. I'm 24 years old, an Enneagram 7 wing 6. I graduated college in 2021, and with that, my 3-year college sweetheart ended our relationship. 3 years.
Yeah.
Makes my stomach hurt. We had a great relationship, both loved each other very much, and everyone around us could tell. When I told my roommates, my best friend, and my family, they all cried. His mom even reached out and said she was heartbroken. They loved us together. Everyone did. Throughout our 3-year relationship, we only had one major fight that I can think of, and some disagreements here and there. When we broke things off, he said the famous line.
It's not you, it's me.
Yep. It's not you, it's me.
Be original.
She said, yuck, in all caps. Yuck. I'm going to start saying yuck again. He was going through some really hard times and had no idea what to do with his life. He said he needed to be alone to, quote unquote, find himself and grow as a person.
That is kind of it's not you, it's me.
That is,
if that's the situation he's going through, then it sounds like
which it sucks because I do think it's not you, it's me is a very common and valid reason people break up.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
people have abused it.
It's been abused. It's been used way too much. And there's usually not like an explanation that follows. And that's what's needed. So instead of saying it's not you, it's me, I would say, hey, like I am just like going through stuff. This is what I'm going through, but like you're amazing and I know like you would be great, but like I can't get past myself to like be in a healthy relationship. Like you don't have to say the words, it's not you, it's me.
100%.
Just saying. He also said that I was see, and this he's digging a hole here. I was, quote unquote, his person and that we were meant to be together and believed we would find each other in the future.
You can't say that as you're ending it with someone. Yep. You can't give them hope while you're breaking their heart. That just makes everything so much worse.
It makes
way
life
more complicated.
Miserable. And
you're
I
breaking
can
their heart and ending things while giving them hope that you might get back together in the future.
Yeah. I can speak from firsthand experience. My exact quote was, I still want to marry you. I just need to figure some things out.
See, in my head, anyone who chooses to break up with someone and then gives them hope like that is just a coward because they don't know how to end it and just be honest about ending it.
Yeah.
And they're saying they're going through something, but there's still hope. I might want to date you in the future. I still want to marry you. No, you don't. Then you wouldn't be ending it.
No, yeah. And what you do to that person is the cruelest thing ever because you stunt closure.
Yeah.
Like a person cannot get closure if they're still thinking, but it could work out.
Yeah.
And those couple months right after my breakup where I was in that place, I still was like trying to better myself to be a good wife for this person.
Yeah.
And it was like once I finally was able to like have that like, no, I'm done and I like shut it off for myself, then the healing started.
Yeah.
But all during the middle time, I cried all the time. I still was like seeking interaction and any signs that like, okay, are things better now? Like, have you figured it out now? Because I was just like wanting to get back to like being with him, you know?
Yeah.
It's so sad. 6 months later, he, quote unquote, accidentally shared a photo album with me at 3 a.m. of him with his arm around a girl at a light festival.
Yuck.
Yuck. I replied with a cool. And he apologized and said that he obviously was technologically challenged. To this day, I'm not sure if he was drunk and accidentally sent it to me or if he purposefully sent it to me.
Do you and this girl have similar names?
True.
I feel like that's the answer.
Unless you had just been texting him, so like your text would have been at the top, or this girl has a very similar name.
Like, unless you're also named Ashley, why am I in this?
Because you know how like you'll go to share something and the suggestions will pop up? Yeah. So unless like off first glance it was similar, or if he just literally wasn't paying attention and just hit a circle that wasn't.
Yeah.
But still.
I don't think it was an accident. I feel
it.
like stuff like that. That's sharing an album. Sharing an album is a process. It's not a quick text where you like accidentally send someone.
That's true.
You know, like it's sharing's a way more. It's a bigger thing.
Yeah. You're right. I
think it was intentional. Trash.
I ain't gonna disagree. Okay. In 2021, in August, I started a stem cell internship at Stanford University. I had to move to a new city where I knew no one and was living alone and was fresh out of a breakup. It was hard. There were a lot of tears involved. Luckily, I made some really good friends that year that I will have for the rest of my life. In February 2022, I published my first paper talking about long-term COVID. When the internship ended in July 2022, I went traveling with my two best guy friends that I made during the internship. The three of us traveled for a month in Latin and South America. One was starting a graduate program, so he had to go back, but me and my other friend traveled the world for 4 months. In 5 months, we hit 13 countries.
Oh my
I know.
God,
I'm like,
my dream.
Can I be you? I'm now home and studying to take the MCAT in May, then applying to medical school starting in June. I just found out that my second paper will be published soon. Girl,
you are on
killing
fire.
It. So I won the breakup. On paper, obviously. I'm doing fantastic. So why doesn't it feel like that to me? When I got back from traveling, I moved back home with my parents. I'm back in my hometown where I have one friend, but she's about to get married. So does that even count? So sad. I know what you mean, but like so sad. My days are filled with studying for the MCAT. I wake up at 5, get ready for bed by 8:30. I have no time to try to make friends or find a new lover. I thought I was over my ex, but my current emotions tell me I'm not. He is now dating the girl he sent me pictures of.
That's trash.
Yep. My 2 closest friends told me she reminds them of me, of course. I don't know if that makes me feel better or worse.
Right.
I feel so stupid for believing everything he told me. I don't want to start over with someone. I don't want to be in that beginning phase. I just want someone to be comfortable with. It's been 2 years. I'm tired of missing him. I'm tired of daydreaming that he is there with me. I'm tired of thinking about him every freaking day. When we first broke up, I had a therapist who I didn't really like, but didn't have the energy to find someone else. And I don't feel like I can talk to my friends. I don't want them to feel bad for me or know I'm still hurting. I'm the one who got the internship. I'm the one with 2 published papers. I'm the one who traveled the world. I'm the one going to medical school. I won the breakup. So why doesn't it feel like it? How do I get him out of my mind? I really hope you guys read this on the pod. I can't take it anymore, and I really need some advice. Love you guys, Faye.
Faye.
Woof.
If you were here, the first thing I would want to know is, have you dated anyone or gone out on any date since your breakup? Because
Palate cleanser.
Yes. I think it sounds so silly, but I think that's 1,000% what you have to do. It's a real thing. When you, and I'm not blaming him for you not being able to get over him, but he did give you hope.
Oh, yeah.
That you could end up together in the future. And whether you're intentionally doing it or not, I think you might be subconsciously waiting
you are.
for him to come back.
Yep.
And I think it is imperative for you to be able to move on, that you meet other guys with the prospect of dating, not just hanging out with guys, not just having friends that are guys. You need to put yourself in a position to date a guy. And I think you need to do it immediately. And I wouldn't even go into the date as like, this could be my future person. I would just go out there and start dating and seeing guys, just so that your brain can connect that there's other guys out there. I'm not saying go out with like some random trashy guy.
Yeah.
Definitely try to find a good guy to go on a date with. But don't even try that hard for it to be like you're Mr. Right. Like, just go talk to a good guy on a date for your brain to register that there's other fish out there and that you need to let go of your guy. And I think all of this might be subconscious because he did give you hope of getting back together in the future.
Yep. Absolutely. And, this process you're going through was something that I feel like I can relate to, and I feel like I kind of mastered for myself. I don't know if this is going to work for you or not, but what really helped me is I was able to one day, like, it all clicked to me that it's not actually him. It's all of the feelings and the security and the love that came with him as your boyfriend and in a relationship. So for me, still to this day, I will think about my ex every once in a while, but I've only had one boyfriend. So when things come up, like when I'm watching a movie and there's like this romantic, like a guy asking a girl to be his girlfriend, my mind goes to the one time I got asked to be a girlfriend and it's him. If there's talks about certain other topics or like romance or friends are talking about the best date they've ever been on, well, guess what? Same guy. It's always him. So I think sometimes, like, if you're in a big relationship and then you have this period of time where you're not with anyone, when those romantic topic comes up, when you have that longing to like be with someone again, it's always going to have like him as like the cover photo.
Yeah.
But it's getting in the mental practice of actually separating that and being like, oh, I'm actually missing that feeling of like having someone that's like asking about my day, having someone that's complimenting me, or having someone that I have a bad day and I can just lay on their lap and they're like stroking my hair telling me it'll be okay. And so I think when you start to shift those mentalities or the way that you think about things and not trying to like suppress it or be ashamed of it, but realizing like I do miss being in a relationship and that's something I desire, it becomes a lot easier to like separate the two.
Yeah.
Like it's not him that you're missing. It's like what came with him.
Yeah.
And you haven't experienced that with someone else yet.
Yes. So you're always going to fantasize about
Yeah.
it.
The first time I kissed someone after my ex, I'm not joking, instantly there was space that was created.
Yeah.
And there was like this whole world that opened up of
because
like
this guy could
whoa.
possibly give you that relationship.
Yeah. Well, and
There's a
4 years,
possibility.
I only kissed one guy. Before him, I kissed like a few, but it was always him. So then it was like, well, what if I'm a bad kisser? What if I don't want to kiss anyone else? What if I kiss someone and like it makes me miss it? It's like you get so wrapped in these like thoughts, and then when reality hit and like a guy just grabbed me and kissed me, I was like, and I'm reborn.
What ex?
And I'm reborn.
Exactly. Like I think
And the guy had the same name as my ex. And I
that's
still
weird.
was reborn.
Yeah.
Reborn.
Yeah, I think what you're going through is normal. I think when you go through a breakup, especially when you've been dating for a long time, it only makes sense that you continue to fantasize about your ex and missing them and missing that feeling of being in love with someone. But it's so true, and I know it's cliche, but there are so many other guys out there that can give you that same thing without the toxicity that he had in the relationship. And I think people make the mistake of thinking that simply time will heal everything.
Yeah.
And I think healing comes with action, and I think it's your responsibility to take that action, literally no one else's.
No, I agree with that.
If you're waiting for I'm going to say it because it's cliche and it makes my point even better. If you're waiting for some knight in shining armor to come and all of a sudden you forgot about your ex, he's not coming.
Yeah.
I'm like looking in the camera right now, making eye contact with you.
Which one are you
Prince Charming is not coming. You have to get out there and take that step to heal on your own. Otherwise, you're going to start going in circles. And I don't want that for you because you are on a wonderful track right now.
Yeah. Also, he could come.
Yeah, but
Prince
where's he going to
Charming
find you?
could come, but you are still carrying all this damage and stuff from your ex because you didn't take the steps to release and like heal. So then you're going to start having those like trauma responses to anything this guy does that has nothing to do with him, but still tied to your ex. And you could risk having a relationship with this Prince Charming because like you didn't do the work. Like I agree, like healing is time, but it's also work. Like you have to actually want to move past something. And if you don't want to do it, if you don't take any steps outside of just saying, oh, I want to get over him, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like it takes very active practices. It's a lot of self-talk practices. It's a lot of mental exercises. It's a lot of things to get yourself out of those ruts that your brain has created and those pathways your brain has created. So it's something you have to be proactive about. And I think you just like brought this up, but I think mentally that door is still open to you, and I think that you need to close it.
Yeah.
Like you need to full blown close it and say
the door.
It's not going to happen, and I'm not going to hold on to this like possible future anymore. I'm going to move past it. I also think it's valuable to track what happened right before I started daydreaming or what happened right before I started missing him and see if you can tie it to like what's triggering it and then doing that practice of separating like, oh, well, yeah, she just was talking about boyfriend. So obviously I'm thinking about my last boyfriend. Like and just start to pay attention. Like I think we have to mentally like do work in life.
Unfortunately, yes.
It sucks, but when you start to think that way, it becomes more of a puzzle to solve instead of like just endless sand being poured on you till you feel like you're suffocating.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I'm listening to you mentioned your daily routine and what your week looks like. And it's you can't want a relationship and not make time to go find a relationship. You can't be sitting there in your room studying every single night and be like, oh, I wish I was in a relationship. You have to make time for it. And that requires, unfortunately, I know all of us wish they could just click and be there, but like that means you have to go out and be social.
Yeah.
So I think it's just as important, just as it is important for you to close that door and have those mental talks and self-talks, it's just as important for you to get out and go be social, to see those guys, to interact with those guys, to go flirt with someone, to go to a random bar with your girlfriends and go dancing and like dance with a guy. That is just as impactful as going out on a date with someone. Like you have to have that click. So 2 things of homework. 1, self-talk. When you feel yourself missing your boyfriend, when you feel yourself daydreaming about your boyfriend, cut it off. Find the reason why you're doing it and then shut the door and make that like a pattern. And then immediately, you need to go out and be social. Yeah. Even if that's just chatting with some guys on a dating app, even if that's going out with your girlfriends and like making eye contact with a guy. Sometimes that's all it takes for it to just kind of click. You know?
Like a good flirt.
A good flirt, it's incredible.
That is like freaking antibiotics for the heart.
I remember feeling like days where I just felt like trash, and then I'd like go out with a girlfriend or even dinner and just like make eye contact with like the waiter or something, and I'd be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm hot as I'm fine.
Or
you know?
even
and
when
that's
like a weird guy with a wonky eye like hits on you, you're just like, yeah, I am hot. I'm gonna take that. Thank you, sir. I will not marry you, but thank you.
But you need to take that compliment, and you need to give yourself the opportunity to receive that compliment. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Amen to that. Well, good luck, Faye. I think that you'll get there. Also, like, it's so funny because I remember telling people, they were like, how long did it take you to get over your ex? So we were together 4 years. And I think right around the 6-month mark, so like half a year, was when I felt a shift to where I started taking steps forward. And then I think at the end of a year, I was like, okay, like I'm a different person. Like I think I've moved forward. I'm still to this day like dealing with certain things. And it's funny because I haven't seriously dated anyone since him. And so I know that when I start dating someone and we have our first fight or a certain topic gets brought up that was an issue in my last relationship, I know it's going to bring some stuff up. Because how can you heal? Some stuff just like is stagnant in you until something comes that triggers it, right? Like I can do all the prep work I can mentally, but it's not until I like get in that moment that I'm going to be like, ooh, like, yeah, this definitely still like hurts a little bit because it reminds me of stuff in the past. So I'll always be like doing work to go forward. But yeah, I would say like a year, like a full year was when I was like, okay, like I think I definitely am like healing. I have like a new foundation laid moving forward. But then it's just like little pockets here and there. But I don't know if you're ever just like fully, you know?
It's funny you say that because I was going to say a year also. But to what you just said, I think I think at any point whenever you're hurt, it's going to get triggered. Whether it was from childhood or it was this relationship or it was a friendship. Like if your fear is like someone being too clingy, like you don't want your boyfriend like hanging on you or being like obsessed with you in any type of way. The second you see any type of that from anyone, it's going to trigger you.
Oh, absolutely.
So like those pockets are never going to go away.
Or trigger words.
You'll just be like, oh, but you have to learn to realize like that's a you problem, not a them problem.
And all of us, even my friends who are like straight up married and like it has nothing to do with wanting your ex back. Even us, we had like a conversation not that long ago where we were talking about like our exes. And you can, in those moments, you're back in time and you're still just like, oh, I was so sad, or like I was so this, or you know what I mean? It's just when you have, that's why you have to be careful who you give your heart to, because you can't just like Vampire Diaries, like just turn it off. You know what I mean? Like they're always going to be tied to you in like some way, shape, or form. So that's why I think being picky is like not a bad thing.
100%.
Unless you're my style of picky, and then it's a bad thing.
And then it is holding you back.
It is dying alone. Bad. Okay.
Anyways, thank you so much, Faye, for writing in. That was great. I really like how you worded that. I love the whole story. I feel like I was on that in that experience with you. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into mine. I'm very excited to talk about this one. This one's titled, I'm Too Embarrassed to Start Working Out Again. Hey, Ash and Taryne. I hope this email finds you well and you have started your week out strong. My name is Caitlin, and you can use my name. I'm from Minnesota. I am also an Enneagram 2, wing 3. Hey, Taryne, winky
Hi,
face.
girl.
Before we get into the email, I wanted to quickly say that I was the one that wrote in about love languages, and I have updates. My boyfriend of now 7.5 years and I moved into our dream home, and we adopted our most perfect cat named Kevin.
Oh, I love dogs and cats named like just straight up like
Human
adult
names. Same.
It's so funny to me.
We are doing great, and you will both for sure be invited to the wedding, which hopefully there's a proposal happening soon. Wow. Excellent update.
I mean, I feel like if we give you advice that makes your relationship strong and then you get married,
we should be invited to officiate the wedding. I mean, we brought you two together.
There should be one moment where we're recognized.
Yeah, in the speech or the vows. I love you. And Ashley and Taryne for bringing us
Ashley
together.
and Taryne, we thank you for everyone give a round of applause.
Careful. We'll come to that wedding.
But
now on to why I'm reaching out. I don't think you have ever touched on this before on the pod, so I hope I can reach an audience that feels the same way I am feeling right now. I am having the hardest time getting back into working out, and let me tell you why. I have always been an active person. I grew up dancing and also taught up until a year ago. I participated in outdoor leisure activities, etc. In short, I never really had to go to the gym until I went to college. Even though I was still dancing, I was not happy with the way my body looked and felt. I went on birth control that made me gain 15 pounds and ruined my life. I got into a great routine. I was happy. I looked and felt like I was in my prime again. And what do you know? COVID hit, and I haven't been the same.
yeah.
I wouldn't say I was eating horribly or making bad choices, but quarantine wasn't great for anyone. Fast forward to now, I want to get back into feeling fit again, and I'm embarrassed and guilty for how I got myself back at this point. Now, I know I'm still a healthy woman, and I'm fairly fit, but my stomach is not how I want it to look. My thighs and butt aren't toned, stamina isn't great, and I could just use a tune-up. But I feel so mad at myself that I cannot get into a routine again. I start strong for 2 weeks and then I stop because I'm ashamed of how I look when I put on my workout clothes. I don't prioritize it and my stamina isn't great. I have equipment in my new house and have my own little workout room, but I've been in my house for over a year and have barely used the space. Which leads me to my question, how do I get out of this funk and past the introductory stages? How do I not think about how I used to look? How can I move past the feelings of you worked so hard before and now your body is back to the way it was? I know I can get through this, but it's just so hard sometimes. I would love some advice because I think you both have very interesting points of view on this topic. I also hope when or if you read this, other people will think they're not alone. Thanks so much. Love, Caitlin. And then she included photos because she's a gem. Here is her new home, which is stunning.
Oh my God, cute. I'm sorry for that yawn, but like cute.
I love a porch.
Okay, but also, can we just applaud the lawn?
A lawn with lines? Ugh.
Sexy.
Ugh. During COVID, I tried to master those lines. It wasn't great.
I will be hiring out. Or if I get a husband that, I'm not joking. I don't know what it is, but like a man doing any type of like housework, I'm like
100%. I am there with some ice cold lemonade for you.
Yeah.
This is them.
Cute.
Adorable. And this is Kevin.
Kevin
with the bow tie.
Oh, I love the bow
tie. There's so many things I want to discuss here. First of all, yes, quarantine sucked. It did a lot of things to a lot of people. But I also just recently, and I mean this, timing wise is crazy. I just had a conversation with a girlfriend of mine. We go to the gym. We go to the gym together sometimes. And I've known her for probably 5 years now. she was telling me how frustrated she was because of the exact same reason. She used to play volleyball all through high school, all through college, meaning she did training but never actually had a workout routine.
Oh, yeah. That was me all through school,
Very
too.
different, right? It is so easy to have a schedule when you're forced to be there, when you have to clock in, clock out, whether it's school, whether it's work, whatever. Take away the schedule or the person that's holding you accountable, like your boss or your coach. All of a sudden it becomes really hard because you have to do that yourself. In a very different perspective, I remember having to when I was finally graduated, I had to create my own work schedule because I used to work around my school schedule. All of a sudden, it got so hard to film a freaking video.
Yeah.
Because why? I had all the time in the world to do it. It's so weird how our brains struggle to like find that rhythm without someone telling us what to do.
Yeah.
It's totally possible, but it only makes sense that you have to go through this weird transition of being like, oh, I got to do this on my own now. And anyways, back to my friend. She struggled for the same reasons, never had to worry about fitness whatsoever because she was freaking training, burning probably like 1,000, 2,000 calories a day just in her volleyball workouts. So she could eat whatever she wanted. And slowly over time, she said she gained a little bit of weight and now it's starting to really eat at her because she can't find her flow of her workout routine now. She's significantly younger than me. So it makes more sense if you know her because she didn't graduate that long ago. So all that to say is, one, you're not alone, but two, it's actually really normal what you're going through. And the number one thing I can say to fix all of this is like baby steps. You can't go into a week and start Monday and work out all 5 days of the week. You're going to get burnt out. You're going to become depleted because your body's not used to it, and you won't be able to have that stamina. So you need to start super small and win that before getting into the big stuff.
Yeah. I mean, anything is so much harder when you attach like just a different body to it. And I feel like I can like totally relate to like what you're going through, and especially like after COVID, right? Like it was just, it's hard to go through that time where there's like so much like mental and emotional drainage, and then on top of that, like your body looks different and you're insecure about it, and you just get like wrapped up in this stuff. And unfortunately, with the gym comes a lot of pressure of people judging you, and like everyone struggles with being in their head about going to the gym. But on top of, if you're already struggling with loving your own body, it's hard to like put that body and that fear into the hands of other people. So I definitely think there's like different steps of healing you need to go through. One is like accepting yourself now, accepting your body now, learning to love your body now. And you could still want to change it and want to get to a different place. But I think if you find a way to like love yourself through every step and transition in life, it's just so much more powerful. So I definitely feel like you have like different areas you need to work on. My one thing that helped me a lot is because I have always been athletic too. Like I grew up in sports, same thing. I would go work out and I would try to do the same things that I've always done. And then when I couldn't do it, I would like get down on myself. Like I remember one of the first things I did is I went to a SoulCycle class where I used to like, I had gotten to the point where I could do the whole class like nailing it, right? And I had to sit down on the bike most of the time because I was struggling. And I left in like full-blown tears. Like I was so upset. I was so embarrassed. I was so just like upset with like the level I was at compared to where I was. And I think something that like someone helped me with was you have to think of it as you're starting from the absolute bottom. Yeah. So even if you just go and you walk for 10 minutes, you get 5-pound weights, do like a couple sets of like a couple different movements, and that's it for the first day. Like, and then you continue to grow on that. So that's something that definitely helped me. But again, unless you're able to find that confidence in separating what people think about you, So you're not going and being like, oh my God, everyone's looking at me only using 5 pounds and I'm bigger and they're thinking this of me. Like, I get it. Like, those thoughts spiral through my head too. But I think you've got to work on that separation to be able to do that. And also to be able to start from the bottom without like judgment and comparing yourself, you know?
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah, I think going into anything, no matter what the situation is, thinking about what other people are thinking about you is
so hard.
It's so toxic. You can't do that to yourself.
Also, I will say a trainer was like massive for me when I was struggling, because I would go to the gym. I was so intimidated to go into like the weight section because one, like I didn't totally know what to do, and two, like there was just like all these men and I was like insecure and whatever. And so for me, it's a lot of money, but it was an investment for me. And to have this guy, Carlo, who I was obsessed with, like we still like talk to each other every once in a while because he just helped me in such a like significant way. But to have him be someone that I could tell him like exactly what I was struggling with, what I wanted, and then he was the one I walked around everywhere and did everything with. Like, and it gave me a security to then, once we were done training, I felt more comfortable to do that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think too, like if you're finding a hurdle, like maybe like you save up for a couple months so you can get like 4 sessions and that's how you start. Like there's things you can do, but you just have to like invest in it, you know?
Which brings me to the next thing. I had to write this down so I wouldn't forget it. Tangible things to do to get you back on track and towards whatever your goal is. 1, accountability. I hate working out by myself. It's one of the worst things. Unless I have a killer playlist or a show to watch on the cardio like machine, it's tough. It's really tough. What has gotten me through all of my gym workouts in the past? A buddy, like my sister and I, or just a group of girls that I go and work out with. Having someone be like, hey, gym at 9 in the morning gets me there. If I'm counting on myself, it's probably going to be 9:30 or I'm not going to make it, you know? Yeah. So like be realistic. If you aren't the type of person who can get your out of bed and to the gym, then don't expect yourself to do that and find an accountability buddy, group of friends, whatever. Number 2, find something you love. I think a lot of people think they want to lose weight. So they start running and they hate running, you know, like why would you do that to yourself? Find something that you love. So try every workout class in the book. Like try a cycle class, try a boxing class. You should try yoga. Pilates is harder than it looks and harder than all of those things combined. Like your body will shake. It is so good for you. But some people don't like the high intensity. They would rather do Pilates. And you got to find whatever works for you. And here's the cool thing. If you do a class, there's your accountability. 90% of the time, if you find a class that you love, you will find someone who's there just as often as you and become friends with them.
Also, though, like, I mean, growing up in sports, you thrive off of someone acknowledging, like, what you've done, and you thrive off of, like, trying to be the best in whatever. So for me, like, I took Thai kickboxing for a year, and it was just, like, me and a group of men, basically, like, with our sensei, and I was, like, obsessed. And it was, like, I knew in classes where I went, it felt competitive, it felt like I had a team. It felt like there was ways I could improve and get better in certain things. And it also didn't feel like working out. It felt like I was just in a sport, you know? So I think too, it's finding the right things that like fit, like you were saying. Yeah, for sure.
1,000%. It changes everything. Like, why would you go, like, if you're dreading going to the gym, maybe the gym's not your thing. Maybe a class is your thing. You know?
Yeah.
So try all of the things and see what fits best for you, because all of a sudden it's going to become a social event and it's not really working out. The next thing, nothing gets me to the gym faster than workout clothes. If you feel gross in the workout clothes that you're working out in, treat yourself to like a cute fit.
Yeah.
I love buying myself new shoes and being like, some new like fancy Nikes, or they don't even have to be fancy, just new. It's exciting and it makes you want to go use them.
Yeah, and can I say too, like, workout, just because like a lot of stuff or content you see of girls going to the gym, they're wearing these cute like matching sports bra and leggings. You don't have to wear that. Like, if you want to wear leggings and like a super baggy t-shirt, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, absolutely.
But there is this weird pressure like when you're curvier, you're trying to fit into the trends that you see. And a lot of times like your body doesn't translate into that. And that's okay. So like find what makes you comfortable. If you not going to the gym, because I think she mentioned like you don't feel comfortable in workout clothes, then find clothes that are cute and that you can work out in.
Yeah.
And like spend money on getting like a cute oversized like Nike tee and new Nike shoes that
1,000%.
match. Like I fully agree with that.
Yeah, if you hate how you look in just a sports bra, then why would you force yourself to work out
there's
in
nothing
just a
wrong with-
sports
yeah.
bra? That's only going to make you spiral.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like find something you feel good in, and I don't care if you wear that, wash it every night and wear it again the next day. Like do that, because as the whole goal is for you to feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
And then the last thing and final thing is I feel like on all of these journeys, whatever your fitness journey is, whatever that goal for you looks like, progress pics are imperative, because I think it's very easy to not see the progress that you're making. And in your head, you feel like you haven't changed. You haven't gained muscle. Like you're looking at yourself in the mirror and I'm like, I don't see any definition at all. Like what's the point in all of this?
Yeah.
And that's what progress pics are for, because there is change and you're just not recognizing it because you're being way too hard on yourself. So even if you hate the idea of a progress picture, no one has to see it. You don't even have to look at it.
Yeah.
You can hide that in an album and check it a month later or 2 months later, do whatever. But like, I think it's good for everyone to see where they started from, because 90% of the time there is a big change and we're just too hard on ourselves and toxic with ourselves to see it.
Yeah.
And those are my tangible things to do
Tangible
to get
tips
you back
with
on track.
The last thing I will say, and I think this is like probably the most important thing for that I've experienced. It is, everything feeds off of itself, right? So for me, my whole life, I've done these cycles of feeling insecure, trying to get skinny, getting obsessed with working out or obsessed with like certain fad diets, whatever. You do that for a while, you notice a change, you stop, you gain weight, you hate yourself. Then it starts all over again, right? Something that I have learned is you have to focus on loving your body. And then because you love yourself and your body, you want to take care of yourself and your body. So you work out to take care of yourself and your body. And you're doing it because you love yourself and your body. And if you're going in, if you struggle with body issues and you're going to the gym to get skinny and to try to fix the problem of I hate myself and I want to look different, it's not going to work, and it's going to be mentally and emotionally damaging.
Yeah.
So you have to shift to be like, no, I love myself. And I'm going and I'm doing this because I'm trying to take care of myself. And when things start to change and your clothes start to fit better, you start to feel healthier, you're going on hikes with your friends that you thought you couldn't do before, then like embrace that as awesome change and awesome ways that you've like invested in yourself, but don't start to separate like, oh, thank God I'm not that person anymore. Like love yourself exactly where you are, and then do these steps, but have the right mentality into it and have goals that you're setting. It's okay to be like, I want to see biceps. Like, that's awesome. But don't be like, my arms are so disgusting, I need to change them.
Yeah.
There's a difference. You see what I mean?
One is extremely toxic.
Yeah.
And it's not even like subtly toxic.
No,
it's
no,
the
no,
most
no.
obvious toxic.
Yeah. If you're doing things because you hate yourself and where you're at, you have to shift the way that you're talking to yourself.
Exactly.
So focus on doing it because you want to feel healthier. You want to love your body. You only have one body, one face, one whatever in this life. So like you want to take care of it. And if you start to do it kind of out of that, and then you find all the things we just talked about, all the tips, all the things of how do I tangibly also do stuff that fits with what motivates me, the ways that I like to work out, the way that I like to look when I work out, all those things, that all packaged together is going to create like a healthy experience at the gym versus like what it is now.
100%.
Yeah.
All this to say,
You got
you
this.
should walk in to your gym with your head held high, that you should go treat yourself to a super cute workout fit, and then just try all the activities. Like, don't be scared of the weights. Just put on your headphones, blast some song that hypes you up, and don't look anyone in the eye.
Yeah.
That's my rule. And like, just shoot your shot. I think you're going to be so like, I think you're going to be so shocked how
Yeah.
easy it comes after 1 week of doing that.
No, for sure.
You know, just daily, like 1 week of actively doing that. It's going to be great.
Yeah, and like start with like 1 day a week. Then the next week try 2.
Yeah.
Like
or
whatever
walk.
you got to do.
Go for a walk in the neighborhood if you
yeah.
don't want to meet people or see people, or if you, I mean, I have days where I'll be like, I am bloated as hell. I don't want to like go to the gym. Go for a hike.
Yeah.
Go for a walk around the neighborhood. Do something active. Meet your goal. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing. That's stupid.
Yeah, and if anyone actually takes the time and space to give you a dirty look or make fun of you or make you feel dumb about your body,
Trash.
they're probably going to hell anyways. So just bless them. Well, let's end with a daddy joke.
Let's do it.
Ew, I hated that. I can cut wood just by looking at it. It's true. I saw it with my own eyes.
Oh, no. That was pretty great. That was actually really great.
Thank you. All right. And now you don't need anything else. I just solved all your problems with my dad joke. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
You guys already know how this goes. If you made it to the dad joke, we love you the mostest. Thank you for listening. Follow us on socials, the Tube, the Instagram, the TikTok. We've been way more active on TikTok, so don't miss out. And if you are sitting on a story that you want to share, or if you've gone through something recently that you would love advice on, you know what to do. Sit down, write it out, send it to us.
That just reminded me of that song that's like, you know what to do with that big fat butt.
Wiggle, wiggle.
Anyways, have a great week. We'll see you next Monday. Oh, go buy your totes.
We have totes.
We
were
totes.
supposed to start the episode with that.
But we're ending. Save the best for last.
Fine. Only the realists know.
Bye, you
Wiggle,
totes.
wiggle, wiggle. Okay, bye.
We love you. Bye.